Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Pettis, and I'm joined by Dr. Michele Weber, Eddie Landeros, and Jesus Alcala for the final talent talk of this semester. So, we are going to do a quick recap on how the semester went for all of us, and let's see where we go from there, shall we?
All right.
So I'm gonna start off with Eddie, who's a Cal State's Fullerton member. So how has the semester gone for you there?
Being still involved with the Talon and then taking up a lot of new clubs, it was pretty hectic, but in a good way. I learned a lot from each of the things that I was a part of, like the radio program. I was still part of the Talon. I was part of the Veterans Resource Center, and then doing side projects. Like it was a lot, but um, but I think it really made me comfortable with challenging myself as opposed to the fall semester. The fall semester, I just felt like the workload for school was just like constantly weighing me down. And the classes I took, it was just very like paper heavy, I would say. Whereas now with this semester, I had a lot of classes focused on my major, which were communications, and it gave me a little bit more creativity and communication with like not only my classmates but with the software and stuff like that I wanted to use. So I'm looking forward to the fall because I'm not taking 5 classes anymore. It's going to be 4 classes each semester, and it'll be in person, hopefully. Just as long as everything's safe. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So, how do you feel about going to a campus that you haven't been to before after attending that school for a year already?
So, a funny story too is like I actually was just there earlier today, and I left at 6:30, um, and traffic had started going up. It was an hour and seven, and I think by the time I got there, it was like an hour 16 because traffic was going up.
Bad.
And I was like,
That's
okay,
not bad at all, really.
no, yeah, it was pretty clear. It was like barely getting into orange by the time I got there. When I was headed back, which was during lunchtime, it was at an hour and a half,
Mm,
and I think it ended up taking me an hour 40 to get back home.
mm.
So that was just a little preview of going there. And then not on top of that, the parking is there's just so many places, and it's such a large campus compared to MSJC that it took me like another 20 minutes to get to where I was going because I was like, where am I supposed to be? So that really is going to be a learning curve. At first, I got to make sure that not only am I leaving early to get through the traffic, but leaving early to get to my class and making sure that I know where I'm parking. Um,
I remember many times ending up parked way past the baseball fields and then walking all the way across campus. It's probably literally a mile.
yeah,
But that's why you've been running, right?
exactly. Yeah, I was thinking that I was like, I should take my bike to the school, so like drive there and then bike my way to class.
Seriously, it's
Um,
far.
yeah, it is. And I parked near the baseball fields a couple of times because that was like the only place I can find
Yep.
where I could get a daily parking permit.
Yep.
But luckily, they built new parking structures while COVID was happening.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, there's a lot of available spaces.
Cool. And Nick, you haven't been on campus at MSJC before. I know you probably haven't registered for your classes yet, but there will definitely be opportunities to be on campus. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's gonna be strange for me like it is for Eddie. You gotta figure out where you're going, where your classes are, and stuff like that. And this is my third semester here, and I haven't actually seen any of my teachers face to face. It's just been Zoom. So it'll be nice to see my teachers and interact with them in person.
Cool.
What about theater, Nick? Are you going to be involved in theater when we go back to physical?
Unfortunately, my life has taken me in a different path. Since I started with the Talon, I've changed my path from theater to being a video content producer and editor. So that's where life has taken me these days.
Yeah, and you've been really on top of it this semester, just with getting the podcast out there, and getting the podcast available, and just working on the website. So thank you for that. And I just want to know, like, what have you learned over this semester? Where do you feel like your career is headed now?
Well, this semester has been a wild ride for me because I've taken 5 classes this semester, along with being one of the main people for the Talon, doing a lot of it. So I've learned a bit about stuff. I learned how to do a good WordPress draft. That's helpful. And I learned that I love what I'm doing and want to do it as a career.
It makes me happy that you found your career path through us. Really, seriously, that just, I don't know, it makes my heart burst because because you literally changed from theater, which was your love, to what you're going to do now because of the talent. And wow, that's just, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Without you guys, I would have been lost in the mix of college students who had to start during the pandemic.
Hmm.
So I'm actually glad that I found you guys at Club Rush last semester.
Super glad we found you too, Nick.
All right, before I start to tear up,
No.
let's head over to Jesus.
No crying. Just kidding.
Jesus, how has this semester been to you?
Productivity-wise, very badly. I've learned how quickly I can lose motivation over something like a lockdown. However, it still has been fun. So with in the previous semester, I decided to try to get a remote job for a while. None of the interviews ever came through. They often didn't want to. One specifically told me they didn't want Californians, and others they just never responded. So that was a hit to my motivation. However, now that I've gotten vaccinated and cleared up, I've actually applied to in-person jobs now, things in construction and whatnot, and so I'm hoping to get one of those. As for schoolwork, I avoided taking online classes because I've taken them before, pre-pandemic, and I did not like doing that at all. It it just wasn't as fun as when I took an in-person class, and I think fun is a huge impact to my motivation, and
Mhm.
I didn't want to risk hurting my grade over a temporary lockdown. I figured I can just easily pick it up once schools reopen in the fall. So what I'm doing right now is trying to get a job. In order to save a little bit of money, just to have some buffer for applying to a school like APU or UCLA. As I've checked, and the financial aid doesn't cover everything, so I need a bit more buffer before I can go to the school. And then, aside from that, I've been enjoying doing a lot more drawing. Because when you're stuck at home for lockdown, really all you can really do is video chat, play online games, and then for myself, I re-upped my drawing. So I've drawn a lot more recently than I have before, and so that's a fun bit, and I hope to keep that up. But once I get more busy with work and schoolwork, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be drawing a lot less.
Is there any work you'd like to share with us, or no? It's okay if you don't.
I don't know if I can do it so easily on the phone, but let's see. Only most can share.
Oh, sorry.
But maybe if I.
You're good to go.
Okay. Getting there.
Okay. There it is.
There's something. So that's
Ooh.
this is from Splatoon,
Mm-hmm.
the Nintendo video game. I made this for my friend. It's based off a drawing that the middle section is mainly is based off a drawing that the official Nintendo did. However, everything on the edges and whatnot, that's all added. And I also changed what was in the middle section. In the middle section, it was a Christmas theme. So I took off all the Christmas decorations and just did a standard boat with and added a lot more characters to it. So that was a fun bit, and that took a very long time.
Very cool looking, Jesus.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thanks. Yeah, so that was one of them. Another one that I enjoyed doing. This one took a lot less time. Is let's see, from Adventure Time. This would
Ooh,
Oh, that's rad.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe its name is Gog. No. Glob. Or Gorb. What?
Orb.
It's one of those kind of names. Yeah. So this one was very quick. The other one just had way more lines that I had to do.
Yeah.
How long did this one take you?
This one, I'd say 3 hours of 2 or 3 hours of line work.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yes, because I don't know. Does this zoom in for you guys?
Yeah.
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 Let's
Well.
see all the line work.
Oh.
Yeah. These are individual lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of line work, and then up here too, there's quite a few lines.
And is this a scan or is this a physical drawing?
Oh yeah, these are physical.
Oh, physical. Wow. Okay.
So it's my pen,
Ooh.
and then this is the drawing pad. So it's 9 by 12, I believe. 9 by 12. Let me get. It is as big as it is.
Yeah.
The sheet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's it. And I'm actually doing one right now. I've only done the pencil part of it. You can't really see it. Like it's on there, but you can't really tell. But so first I put down pencil mark, and then I go with a pen to do the actual line. Right now I'm doing I'm doing a panel from the manga Berserk. The author recently passed away, and one of my friends is a huge fan of Berserk. So I asked him, "Hey, what's your favorite panel? Like, what's your favorite little section of it?" And he gave me an image, and I was like, "Okay, I want to do that, blown up, and then on this page." So that's what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. Very cool, Jesus.
All right, Dr. Weber, we've
Yeah.
come to you. How has the semester treated you?
This semester, well, this year as a whole has been strange. I will say last semester was way harder than this semester. And I think that's just primarily because it just felt like we were walking through mud. Nobody knew when the end was going to be. And it was just like, it was like Groundhog Day and Groundhog Day and Groundhog Day. Plus, politically, it was chaotic. The news was overwhelming. I was outraged just like 24/7. And then the election happened. That semester ended. Biden got into office. Vaccinations started. And this semester's just seemed a lot more hopeful, just in general. Granted, it was still hard at the first part, but once people started vaccinating, you could start to see us beginning to emerge a little bit. And I feel like now we've gotten to the point where people are leaving their house on the regular, and it's more normal. I definitely just personally didn't realize how depressed, for lack of a better word, I was, like, in the middle section there of this whole thing. And I think that a lot of what's happening now to everyone is that we realize that it's going to be over. We're starting to get back to our new normal lives, but we're also reflecting on everything that we went through. It's like when you're going through it, it's just like, but when you're out the other side, it's like, oh my gosh, that was crazy what just happened. I mean, who thought that in March of 2020, it would upend everything that you've ever known? I mean, and I think about that, something happening, in the future. I'm just like, I can't think of anything that would do that. But that's sort of how we were in March. We were like, oh yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And now it's been a year in some. I don't know. Personally, it changed me, and I think for the better in a lot of ways. So it's been interesting. It's been good. I have learned to teach online very well, and we, as a newspaper, have learned how to function online. So I feel like that just shows the versatility of the human spirit. Like, we made it through this. Some of you are graduating. Congratulations to our graduates. It's really an accomplishment to just have survived this year and made it out the other side. Maybe not in one piece, but picking up those pieces and putting them back together again to form a new whole, if you will.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This whole year's just been a tailspin, but it's getting better. Everyone's getting vaccinated and such. What were you going to say, Eddie?
Oh, I was just going to ask Dr. Weber, because she's been online, even before the pandemic, but after learning through the pandemic with more virtual spaces, because doing Zoom conferences, I don't know to what extent, but how has this year changed how you teach your online classes? Has it?
It really has. I think the amount of grace that I'm willing to give to students and the amount of appreciation that they have for that, just because life's happening. Before the pandemic, life happened to all of us. Things happened, and it was like, nope, got to bring me a doctor's note. It's due on that day or else. Now it's kind of like, get it to me when you can. You know what I mean? And if stuff happens, okay, no big deal. That's fine. It happens to all of us. So I just feel like because I want grace from other people, I'm willing to give it much more. And I also think now it's less of policing the classroom and more of allowing students to learn. I mean, I think that even if you didn't make the deadline, you could still learn from something. Just because your child got sick and you had to take them to the hospital doesn't mean that you're suddenly not going to be able to learn that item. You know, I just think like the whole idea of deadlines being fixed has really gone out the window for me. I know that you sort of have to, and I call them suggested due dates, but students can be successful even through adversity as long as you give them a little wiggle room.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just I think you've seen on Instagram, but thinking about last year when the pandemic started, and I was in your comm class doing the video project for EMWD, and that was like, I want to say the first project where it was like, okay, you got to think about how you're going to do this in a quarantine setting, you know, without using like your friends or, you know, people outside because you can't make contact. So it really challenged me to think creatively, and it also pushed me to be more a part of the Talon, because it was like, dang, like, you know, I like doing this, you know, taking the photos for like the gym stuff or, you know, the journalism degree, and creating the website. It's like, wow, I can't believe it has been a year since then. And I honestly don't know. I can't imagine like what I would be doing if I didn't join the Talon at that time, you know?
Oh.
It really, yeah, it really is. I mean, even Nick, like, I mean, you've done this whole semester, and look how far you've come. So, and Jesus, like, yeah, it's really interesting. So,
Jesus has skills in InDesign too that you guys don't know about.
yeah, he does. He's got all
Mm-hmm.
design skills in him, like
Yeah.
drawing, and then even like with the skateboard
Yeah.
design. That was awesome.
Yeah. Jesus has been an anchor for a long time
Yeah.
for the Talon. So, and the Communication Club, which is kind of the Talon and the Com Club together now. So,
What
go
what
ahead.
do you miss the most about back doing like the newspaper?
Probably the handing them out. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, putting them, yeah, just going around to each section or to every section on the campus with a stack of newspapers and dropping them off at each bin. That's that was enjoyable.
That was more personal when we had them and we could actually give them to people.
Yeah, there was it had a nice smell too.
Yeah.
They did. They did.
Like,
Plus, we had cool snacks that we kept in the comm lab. I mean, we had Jolly Ranchers, and I mean, we had some good times there. The group would just come and hang out and work on design together.
oh yeah.
We made it work virtually, and I think that's fantastic too. But there were a lot of relationships that formed just by being together on campus. Like you and Mark had Mark's flag project that he did. Some other cool stuff.
Yeah. Oh, if well, yeah. If we're talking about what I missed the most about in-person stuff, yes, it was the I guess the after party kind of thing where after every meeting some of us would stick around. Yeah, that. But from the newspaper itself, yes, it was actually having a physical thing they could hand out. That's nice.
I think it's funny thinking about sticking around after meetings after this whole year of like, okay, bye, like hit that red button.
I have this article that talks about people waving too. It's like, for some reason, that it's like 100% I have to physically wave my hand at you before I hit the button.
Yeah, I do that too.
And I know, but it's because of the abruptness of just stop and then it goes away. It's like, it's weird how we adapt to things in that way. Plus, I'll do this a lot,
Oh
like
yeah,
really cheesy
Yep.
stuff.
I'm always doing the thumbs. Like, yep, got it.
Like, oh
Yep.
yeah, and then the emojis.
Yep.
But I feel like everyone's adapted into Zoom, so when we do go back, it may be more of a hybrid. Like, oh, hey, I'll meet you on Zoom real quick, just because it's easier and you can find a time that works more quickly. But you could still meet in person. You know what I mean? It's kind of nice to have both options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, go ahead. I was.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I was just thinking about the transition because like this year has challenged me more than anything. Like I've challenged myself, but also just like with Zoom and everything. But I find myself like being a little bit more comfortable behind like the camera and just at home. It's like, dang, like there's so much I could do here. As much as I didn't like, having like this one space for everything and never feeling like you could get out of it. There's so many things I'm like, wow, okay, like I can work out with this. Whereas if it was in person, maybe I wouldn't have the confidence or something to do what we've done this past year. And so I think like moving forward, I'm kind of nervous about like going back in person and thinking about like how I'm going to act. Like, is it going to be socially awkward? Are other people going to be socially awkward? It's the fight or flight kind of deal. So it'll be interesting.
Gives me a little anxiety too.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah.
After being trapped in a house for a year, definitely does a number on your anxiety. Trust me, I speak from experience. I have severe general anxiety disorder, and I'm getting better now that I'm going out more. But like anxiety will never go away, but you can lessen it.
It's definitely been interesting, though. I think the adaptability that we have just really showcases, like you said, Eddie, with that creativity and whatnot. And I don't think what we've learned will go away. It's just going to add to our knowledge base and our adaptability. And hopefully, our new normal will be better than when all of this began. Because hopefully society will have learned a few things, although sometimes I wonder. But I'm going to go with the
Glass half full.
rainbows side of things.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, if we all go back to campus, we're going to have to zoom in, those of us who aren't at San Jacinto.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, I haven't actually ever met Eddie in person. Because I was on the San Jacinto campus and we Zoomed with Menifee. Now at this point, we're probably going to Zoom in Temecula. So some people may be virtual and others in person, unless we have a monthly meeting on one of the campuses where you're supposed to be there in person or whatever. But like I said, a lot of things are probably going to be hybrid. But I like having the option. You know what I mean? Not being stuck because you're afraid of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, I think that was a good talk.
I do too.
Yeah.
We'll probably do our closing statements right now. I guess let's talk about the summer. What are you looking forward to the most for the summer, whether it's a project or just relaxing? We'll go with Nick. You start us off.
So I'm going to be taking 2 classes in the summer, full time. I know, big spender. Let's go. And I'm looking forward to slowing down from my full time fall and spring of taking all those classes to just chilling my way through 2 at a time. I'm gonna
2 in the summer is not chilling. I
think
hate to
about it.
break it to you.
But think about it. I'm taking 5 right now, and I'm stressed to the max.
Yes, 5 over 16 weeks. You're doing 2 over 6 weeks.
True. Actually, it's 8 weeks
Okay,
for
good. 8,
me.
that's better. That's better.
Yeah, mine
You
are
can do that.
all 8 weeks.
Okay, good for you. Awesome. What are
So
you taking?
I'm taking Com 104 with Professor Newman, and I'm taking Audio 180 with Marsala.
Ooh, how cool. How exciting.
Yep. I gotta continue on the path of digital transfer.
Awesome.
You'll be ahead
Alrighty.
of the curve with Audio 180,
Mhm.
and it's a fun class, especially if you're
Yeah.
taking it with Marsala.
Yep.
Jesus, what about you?
Well, I'm hoping to get a job soon. I really would like to save up some money. And to go to Nick, yeah, it's summer classes. They're way more compressed. Even though it's only 2, it's still gonna be rough. As for schooling, like I said, I want to wait until I get more of a buffer before I attend, because I'd like to cover as much as possible without having to take a large loan. But what I look forward to the most would probably be more hangouts with my friends, since they were on pause for a while. We did do hiking, but that was always a small group, 2 to 3, 4, 2 to 4 people, pretty much. Uh, uh, However, with the vaccines and all that, we recently did a board game get together, and we'll probably do at least one more, and then we'll see what goes on after that.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, the hangouts are going to be hopefully fun, because just depending. But that's what I'm excited for as well, is just hanging out with friends, just having a little bit of comfort in knowing that, we should be okay. But what about you, Dr. Weber?
Yeah, mine is just family, because I haven't seen my parents, my sister, her kids, since December 2019, which when I say it out loud is a long time. So I'll go visit them. Just like you said, being able to be around people, and I think the fact that we took that for granted for so long will make it better. Meaning, I don't know, I'm just more patient. I listen better. I'm not always in a hurry to get to the next thing anymore, I think. So just, I'm not teaching for the summer except for like a couple of little things that I'm doing here and there. And so it will be nice for me to just decompress, read, sit by the pool, and then head back into sort of a new fall, if you will, sort of slam the door on COVID. Get out of here. How about you, Eddie?
Yeah, I'm planning to do a lot of reading over the summer. I've started to get back into reading and enjoying it, and a lot of running. I think with the start of this year, and it wasn't even like a resolution or anything. I just kind of like thought, you know what, I gotta change my mentality moving forward, and maybe just because I was doing so much that really set me in motion of like I gotta do better for myself. So I'm gonna be doing that, but yeah, the social contact and doing like projects that I've been wanting to do since the middle of the semester. but going to like hanging out with people, I've noticed, and I'm so glad this is the case, because after being in Zoom for so long, you think like, oh man, like you're going to be socially awkward, or people are going to be like no eye contact, or kind of like just like nervous, right? But so far, going to the Veterans Resource Center or hanging out with like family, eye contact has been constant. Like, and several, like my brother-in-law was saying, man, I love eye contact, and he's not like the most like sociable person, but he's just like, I realized how much I took that for granted. And just like making eye contact with people constantly, it's like, wow, like, there's hope for how we're going to communicate going forward. And I really appreciate that. So I look forward to that. I look forward to communicating with people.
Yeah, I
I
went to the
forgot-
hair salon today, and I feel like I way overshared. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Jesus.
I was gonna say I forgot to mention theaters. There's gonna be some films coming out, and I'm I'm very excited to see them in a theater.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dune, Batman, and The Green Knight.
Oh, I
Yeah.
saw Dune is coming out.
Those are what I look forward to.
Yeah, I really want to read Dune. That's going to be.
That is a novel.
Yes.
For sure.
That's why I was like, maybe I'll put that on the back burner and I'll get into it first. But, yeah.
Well, I want to give a shout out to all our graduates and congratulate them for making it through such a trying year and still coming out the other side and being able to transfer. So congratulations to everyone who's graduating. Eagles, have resilience.
Yep, congrats everybody. It's going to be exciting. I speak from experience. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Nick, you want to take it away?
Alrighty. Thank you all for joining us for the season 1 finale of Talon Talks. Congratulations once again to our classes of 2020 and 2021 for all their hard work and everything they do. Make sure you follow us on our social media, MSJC Talon, and make sure you follow us on Spotify and like and subscribe our YouTube channel. And we will be back with more episodes, probably with less people than we originally started with, but we'll be back with more in the fall. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Nick Pettis, here with Dr. Michele Weber, Eddie Landeros, and Jesus Alcala for the final time. Thank you for joining the Talon Talks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.